All right, here we go. Sorry, I'm really nervous. So my passion for cars started from when I was a young age, when I was working alongside my uncle that he used to be really into cars, mostly Japanese cars, like the Nissan Bluebird and other Nissans at the time, who probably hate me now because I've gone into the Honda scene more so. I think my passion really started to thrive when I was about 11, 12 years old. I had a older cousin that was really into the Honda scene. He and his best mate at the time, one of them had a EK3, a little 1.5. My cousin had a EK4 VTI. I never knew anything about VTEC or anything like that, but it stemmed from there. Whenever he was working on his car, I used to go outside and I say help out. I was more of a nuisance, really, but it was more so I just wanted to learn, and from there it just progressed and progressed and progressed, and now I'm a Honda and VTEC addict. Right, so the Honda scene, it is very large. Obviously, they've got so many different areas for certain people that want to build like track cars. You got stunts cars, you've got the drag scene. Name it, you'll probably see a Honda in that scene. Even I'm pretty sure I've seen Hondas off-roading. The main thing about Hondas is they are adaptable to whichever area you want to use them for. For people that don't really know about the Honda scene, you're probably hiding under a rock. They're cars that are built like Lego. They can be built to the high heavens. You can use them as a daily if you want them to be. And like I said, they are adaptable, so you can use them for everything. And parts are readily available. They are cheap. Well, they're not as cheap as what they used to be, but they are still cheap. But yeah, I think that kind of describes it, I guess. Due to social media, the car scene itself has obviously expanded, but there are so many different niches. For me personally, people that are moving more so away from going completely high heaven modification and starting to realize that being different doesn't necessarily mean that you have to modify it with like thousands and thousands. For example, like if you see a clean Honda that is completely bone stock and people are aiming towards more stock and OEM Plus, basically making it more reliable and making it more towards today's standard. They don't need to go all out, let's buy this kit and that kit, let's turbo it and so on and so forth. But for me personally, yeah, OEM Plus is something that I'm quite excited about, seeing that people are moving towards that. Personally, I'm going to be a bit different here, but I don't think anybody's doing anything wrong with their builds. Like, let's say somebody buys a kit for their car and they don't have enough money to paint it, but they just throw the kit on anyway. It's not really a mistake. It just might be financials or, oh, I got it. One thing that people do wrong with their builds is they don't enjoy their cars. If I'm going to be honest, like they've got an end goal and they want to reach that end goal as soon as possible. They'll buy a car. They know that the end goal is to have it like maybe turbocharged. Instead of just enjoying the car step by step, it may have like a little 1.5 litre in it or something quite slow. But you forget to just drive it. Just enjoy it whilst you've got it. You know what I mean? I don't like the idea of, oh, this is where I want to be, so I'm just going to buy the car, park it up for 2 years, build it all up, and then finally drive it. No, just enjoy yourself. Enjoy the car whilst you've got it. Most underrated car.
If you say CRZ, then you get in the part of that chair and you get in the part.
No, it's fair though. It is fair to say the CRZ. I have to throw it in there. It is one car that is quite underrated. I used to really throw shade on this car, being a little 1.5. Yeah, I'm going to say the word hybrid. Driving that car, because AJ's got one. His CRZ, I never used to like it until he gave me the keys and said, go for a drive. And to be fair, I actually really enjoyed it. I drove it all the way down to Milton Keynes. It was really good on fuel. On the motorway, it was very stable. And if I went around like some tighty little bends and stuff, yeah, it's a good car. Another car that I would say that people do kind of forget it exists, it's a very small community of people that actually do like it, is the MB6, which is a Honda Civic MB6, which comes with a 1.8 VTI or B18 C4. Because the engines are so good, most people just buy an MB6 Estate, which is an MB6 Estate, and throw a turbo on it, 400 brake, and I know people that have been running them for about 5-6 years and no problems at all. So yeah, I wouldn't say they're like really underrated than the CRZ, but it's a car that people do kind of skip over. Everyone's just EK, EG, and EP. So when I was 16, ended up buying a black Honda Civic EM1, aka Monica Black. Well, anybody that knew me knew the car, because obviously having it from such a young age, it was a car that I built practically from scratch. Anything that was done on it, with help from the previous owner. I can't say that I did everything. I watched him build it, and then it got to a point that he needed to sell it, and obviously being 16, I was like, I can't let this car go. I've got a bit of an attachment to it. I ended up buying it, and from there I did everything that I could to keep it on the road, and I built it. It had not a speck of rust. It had like over 180k miles on a 1.6 litre B16A2. Ended up doing like putting Recaros in it. Suspension wise, it had BC coilovers. It had a Integra Type R exhaust system. This car was my baby. Ended up building a 1.8 litre block, so B18 block with a 1.6 litre head with Integra Type R cams and valves and everything like that. And I said, once the engine hits 200k, I'm going to do the engine swap and I'm going to run it to high heavens. The car was, I wouldn't say that it was ultra well known, but anybody in the Honda scene, like if I ever went for a drive to maybe Bradford or Leeds or Birmingham for food, I used to get a text from one of my mates saying, what you doing in Birmingham? What you doing in Bradford? Because one of their friends that are there have seen the car. That was my baby, and that car meant the absolute world to me. Sadly, it didn't end well with it. So, around 2020, it was around COVID time, I was meeting up with my cousins at the other end of Snakes Pass, near like a little lake river thing. Not on Snakes Pass. I'm gonna make this clear now. It didn't happen on Snakes Pass. I know it like the back of my hands, but on the other side is a road that runs parallel to Snakes Pass. That day I was meeting up with my cousins, so me and another cousin of mine were leaving from Manchester and heading to go see them. He decided to take his motorbike and I was taking Monica at the time. I hadn't driven that car hard in about probably a couple months. That day, nice summer's day, everything was just perfect. Whilst we were driving down there, we were ripping it around and having a bit of fun. And got there, met up with everyone, had some ice creams, you know, having a chat and whatnot. I was meant to be going into Sheffield to pick up a braided clutch line. I told my cousin, I said, you head back to Manchester and I will head into Sheffield. On the way in, I wasn't used to the roads. I didn't know that section very well. We were driving in, and yes, before anyone else asks, and I know family that is watching this, I was driving the speed limit. The speed limit on the road is 50 miles per hour. As we were entering into Sheffield, there's a long sweeping left bend, and then right at the end, which you can't really see, it goes quite sharp. So I'm traveling 50 around this corner. My car's done way quicker around corners before, so I was like, this is fine. I'm comfortable with this. As I got to the end, and it becomes a sharp left-hander, so I took the corner. The front end was straight, but because it nosedived, because I pressed the brakes too hard, the back end became loose. So as I came around the corner, I was looking straight, and then the back end started to come out. I did everything that I could to obviously prevent what was... I look back at it now, it was inevitable. I couldn't have done anything more. I'd full locked the wheel the opposite direction. I tried to accelerate, but I was too high of a gear, so I literally just slammed my foot on the brake, yanked the handbrake, and I was just... It's kind of like just a brace, brace, brace type moment. As you come around the bend, so the road's here, and there's a grass verge, and crashed into it, and I did about 6 car lengths in the air, and then when I landed, the car rolled about 6 times as well, and ended up in a ditch. On the other side, there's a stream that runs through, like a tiny little stream, and my driver's side window landed directly above that stream. It's bad to say, but it was kind of perfect and not perfect. Like, we weren't trapped in the car because of that. My cousin that was also in the car with me, as I'm laying on the side looking around, I look up and I see him Spider-Manning above my head, trying not to fall on top of me. And I asked him, I was like, you okay? He goes, yeah, you okay? I was like, yeah, cool, we're good. And this is what I mean by it was kind of perfect, because the way that we hopped out was through the driver's window, directly underneath the car in that little divot bit. So we jumped out and my cousin goes, oh, grab your phone and grab your bag, which were just, they looked like they'd just been placed next to each other. Grabbed my stuff and went on to the other side, and my cousin's brother was driving ahead of us at the time. He didn't see the crash, but we rang him and said, listen, do a U-turn, I've crashed. From there, ambulance arrived, police arrived. The ambulance saw the crash. They saw that we were okay. They did their checks and stuff. Due to the extreme nature of the crash, we do have to take you in because there might be an underlying issue. You might have like a brain bleed or something. I remember being in the back of the ambulance and the police coming over and saying, oh, do you want us to recover your car? First thing I said was no. So I called my recovery guy. He came and picked up the car and took it back to my unit at the time. On the way into the hospital, so me and my cousins have the giggles, so everything was just funny. It wasn't a funny situation. I know it was a very serious situation, but we were just in hysterics. I think it was just the joy of just being alive. It did really affect me mentally. Obviously, Tom, that is currently reading the questions out to me, he ended up showing a picture to his mum. And she turned around and said, so when's the funeral? And that kind of put into perspective that, you know what, it was quite a serious situation we were in. And it did change my whole outlook on how I do drive now. And obviously knowing just to be a bit more careful. I'm not as reckless anymore. I do drive fast, obviously being a petrol head, but you do really know, like, let's say your limits here, you always dial it back about 80%, and if there's other people in the car, it's not worth it. Because for me, if anything happened to me, that's fine, I'll deal with that. That's my consequences. If I break a leg or God forbid anything worse happen, it is what it is. But taking somebody else's life or them getting injured, it's something I couldn't live with. So yeah, I remember a couple days later I went back to the unit, and I remember opening up the shutters for the first time, seeing a car that I bought at 16, built with my bare hands, blood, sweat and tears have gone into it. I've been known for that car, and just seeing it in the state that it was heartbreaking. And I literally left it there for about a month, and I didn't even touch it because everyone's like, oh, you got to take the parts off, you got to strip it, you got to scrap it. I couldn't bring myself to doing it. Obviously at the time I did have Aaban and Tom. Whilst I was in recovery, they actually set up my four-door at the time. So I had a Honda EK3 Ferio, so it's a JDM import four-door. They were doing a full front end swap and everything to the car. Like they made it just mint. So by the time I had recovered, I had the car there ready for me. Things like that don't go unnoticed. Having a community like that is precious. You don't really find that anymore. I never actually thanked you guys for that, so I do appreciate it. It means a lot to me, honestly. But yeah, that's the story of Monica. I'm pretty sure there's a video somewhere someone seesawing on the car, because we had to tip it upside down to get it on the back of a recovery truck. And I think one person was stood on one end, one person was stood on the other, and they were just seesawing it back and forth. That's the origin story of Monica. She's probably a fridge somewhere now. There's so many builds that I would love to do that are just outrageous, and if money wasn't an issue, I would have all of them. My dream car is an A86, and I do want a F20C out of an S2000. So it will be a 2-liter VTI with like 220 brake in an A86. Literally an A86 out of the... What's that show called? Why has that gone out of my head? Initial D, sorry. I just got shouted out for that. Yeah, an A86, literally exact same as the one out of Initial D, but with an F20C in it. That for me will be the first car that I do. Any fun stories whilst driving? Name it. First time I met Tom, I took him out for a spin in Monaco. He's never been in a car or like a genuine VTEC car. We were going to get money out of the cash machine. That's what it was. So I said, cool, I'll take you for a spin at the same time. Went down the road. We went from the old unit. We just went around the corner to the petrol station. But I absolutely sent it. This was before the crash, so don't grill me for that. And I've never seen somebody so fearful in their life, because obviously, 1, he doesn't know me, 2, he doesn't know the car, and 3, he was just terrified of ripping it around everywhere. And I think that was the day that actually converted you into a bit of a Honda head. Kind of did enjoy it, because I remember you getting out of the car going, what the hell is that thing? Yeah, taking AJ for a spin as well. We were going to the second unit at that point. And just coming off Trinity Way, or getting onto Trinity Way, very sharp left underneath a viaduct. So I took the corner knowing that I've got an LSD gearbox, I've got fresh tires, and I took it flat out. And AJ's reaction, he's brown, he turned white. It was hilarious because he just
went, what's this?
I took the corner, foot to the floor. He was nearly in my lap, and I found that hilarious. I've done quite a few illegal things that I don't really want to admit on camera. Oh my God, that's a good one. I was driving towards the unit, Princess Parkway, if anybody knows it in Manchester. They've dropped the speed limit from 40 to a 30. I was driving this speed limit, and I had a car in front of me. He was driving way below the speed limit, so I said, oh, okay, so I'll overtake. So I jumped in the other lane, went past him and pulled back in. He got offended by that and decided to overtake me and slam on the brakes. Me not wanting any other confrontation or anything like that, I pulled into the right lane and I sent it. And I put my foot down, and I kept my foot down for quite a bit, just to raise a gap. And on Princess Parkway, there's a little hill. I saw somebody at the bottom of the hill with a high vis. And I don't have the best of eyesight. Yeah, it was a police officer stood there with a gun. I was going that fast, he came into the middle of the road and put his hand out, because that would probably be the only way to stop me. I ended up getting pulled over, pulled into the car park, and he had a word with me. He goes, do you know how fast you were going? And genuinely, I didn't. I thought I was doing maybe 50, maybe 60. Let's just say that day I got 6 points and £811 fine for doing 78 in a 30. He was so adamant I was gonna be banned, but by the grace of God, I got off with points and a fine. Yeah. And then when I got to the unit, I told these guys everything, and they were just laughing at me, laughing at my pain. But yeah, that was a fun story. Ooh, the origin story of TNB. Right, so this is gonna be a good one. I met AJ at a car meet. I will ask AJ what year. Oh my God, he remembers a month. February 2019. I met AJ for the first time at a car meet. I met other people like Aditya, as you've seen in the last interview video. But we kind of all hit it off, really. We just had lots of jokes, and this is what I mean by the car scene in the UK. There's a few of us, but there's a rare amount that is a car community. And we became a community quite quick. We were a very small group, but we became friends. We actually were meant to do... You first brought me on to do photography with you. What was that called? Do you remember? Yeah. Bread 63. There's an image, and I still have the image of when he officially asked me to join on him, and me and him are both eating donuts. And I was like, this is cool, man. This guy is amazing with cameras, and he wants me to join on? Me? Later on, Aaban introduced Tom to the group, and Tom was like our official white boy of the group. And from the get-go, he was just such a nice guy. I'll be honest, you were just such a nice guy, so chilled, and just got along with everybody. And that's why I felt so comfortable to say, hop in the car, let's go for a spin, it'll be fun. And from there, Tom has helped me through a lot. I'll admit it, bro. Whilst I had my own unit at the time, there were times where I was actually struggling. Obviously, after the crash and everything, I wasn't 100%. But Tom really did help me out. He lent me your creeper for a year and a half or so, and then tools. And whenever I was really struggling, he was just there giving a helping hand. From there, we kept in touch, but obviously there was a point where I did have to close my unit down. Our group kind of spread apart a bit, but then AJ decided, let's host a boys get together as a little car meet of, a little reunion. So we met up and we were talking. By this point, it was quite recently. I'll say at the beginning of the year, I finally gave in and made a car related Instagram page and TikTok page. Whilst meeting up, I was speaking to obviously Aaban and Tom about what they were doing and the whole YouTube side of stuff, and I thought it was amazing. And Aaban just asked straight away, he goes, bro, do you want to join on? I'm not going to say no. It's more car related content. Might as well have some fun about it. And they invited me to join Those Northern Blokes. I am now officially a part of Those Northern Blokes. So yeah, our ideas were very similar. So I remember our first meeting, we decided to state everything. And that first meeting, I'll be honest, it was make or break. We wanted to see if we were compatible, what we wanted to do, where we wanted to be, what types of videos we wanted to create. It all just aligned up side by side, and it would have been a stupid decision if I didn't join on. It would have been something that I did regret. So I do appreciate the opportunity to join on, and this is where we're at. For me personally, it's going around and speaking to anybody about cars and just seeing that fire being built up. If I talk about my car, there's a level of passion that comes out. And when I see that being reciprocated from another person, that level of passion about cars and that petrolheadism, that for me is just enjoyable. The support that you get, like for example, like I stated before, when I was in the crash, if I didn't have you guys around me, I wouldn't have been able to have my 4-door ready for me. But you guys went out your way without me asking to just do that. And that's the type of car community that we want. Back in the day, in the Honda scene, we used to have a page called ek9.org, which was a website that was just a forum. And people used to post up, oh, I need help with doing an engine swap. And you have about 15, 20 people that you've never met before that just go, I'm free on that day. I'll bring this, I'll bring this, I'll bring the jack, I'll bring the food, I'll bring the drinks. And you'll have random people turn up to your house with all the tools that you could possibly need and jack up your car and help you finish your project that you've been straining to do for about maybe a couple months, even years, and you get it done in a day. And from then on, those people are like family. But it's true, car community does turn into a family. Oh no. Favorite car I've ever driven. Listen, I can't be put on the spot, okay? Oh, this is gonna really mess everything up. E92 M3. Japan. 3 cars, I'll pick an A86, an NSX, Supra. Ooh, worst mods. Oh no, I got this one. Ooh, I'm gonna really annoy some people. The F1 little brake light on the, yeah, those little brake lights on the back of like Cupras and yeah, the flashing ones. I hate it. You're not an F1 car. Stop it. It's disgusting. Sorry. Yeah, F1 little brake light at the bottom. No. You're doing 10 miles per hour. Stop it. Ooh, favorite car movie. I'm gonna have to say Initial D. I do like the movie as much as I love the anime. I do like the movie as well. They did capture it quite well. They did say that there's a new one that's gonna be made as well, so I can't wait. Favorite car game. Some people might not actually know this. Midtown Madness. That game. I remember sitting on my mum's bed with the steering wheel. Bear in mind, I didn't have anywhere to put it on, so I had to clamp it between my legs. So I was driving steering wheel pedals like this. Yeah, Midtown Madness, a fantastic game. Or Burnout. I don't care if we get slated for this, and it's something that I hold dear to my heart. This whole Certy Drivers movement. If you class yourself as a Certy driver, no. Because of them, insurance is high. Because you're driving like a nutter, risking your life, risking other people's lives. I can't stand the Certy Drivers movement. You're ruining it for the rest of us. I remember going to car meets back in the day where you could meet up with all your friends, maybe like 70, 80 cars. Police did not care. They used to just come over and go, you guys aren't causing a ruckus, that's fine, we'll leave you alone. Now, because everyone's doing donuts in their 140i's and their financed Cupras and stuff like that, I'm sorry, no, can't deal with you. Right, in terms of builds on TMB, we're going to be focusing on our own personal cars. So for example, my DC5, Tom's Club Sport, and AJ's, your E46 has got to get done, mate. You think I'm going to leave that out? In terms of events, we are going to be hosting, TNB is going to be hosting its invite-only car meet. We're going to be passing around invitations to specific people and have it hosted. Well, we'll set a location 100%, and you'll see it on the Instagram and other areas of social media. What was the other one? We have some collaborations in the works. I'm going to be grabbing my elder brother, who owns a company called Skins, and hopefully that will be a collaboration. You will hear more about it soon, but Skins is potentially one. So Bilal, we're coming for you. I'll be honest, I've never planned where my journey will be. Like, I didn't even think I would be on TMB, to be honest. Moving towards the TMB side of stuff. Our aims are quite big, but we're currently trying to do more cinematics, which should be coming out soon. Keep an eye out for that, 100%. Tom's going to be releasing the reviews side of stuff, Mr. Stunt Coordinator over there. We are obviously trying to keep the interviews a regular thing as well. I feel like getting people's stories out is very important, just to know the background about people and so on and so forth. And the DIY side of stuff will continue to happen regardless, because our cars are never fixed. So it's just going to be endless, really. We are really trying to push this as much as possible. Eventually, we're trying to aim for going to different countries and seeing the scenes out there. But we can only do that with your support, because we broke, boys. That's our aim. We'll do everything that we can to create amazing content for everybody. You don't want to do that. No, I'm joking. So you can find me on Instagram, name Osama Bin Driving, but if you do write in OBD, it comes up. On TikTok, it is Osama Bin Driving again. And on YouTube, you can find me at Those Northern Blokes. But yeah, that's my socials. You can find me there and follow. On Osama Bin Driving, you'll see more of this stuff. TikTok, you'll see me being an idiot, and on TMB you'll see me sat here with cameras and lights around me. But yeah, we done?